Good morning to everyone. So only few members is there. Only 3 members. Bhavani, Bhagyaraju, Kumari, Janaki Kumari. So right. Anyway. So today topic is environmental audit. Okay. Environmental audit. So what is environmental audit? So an environmental audit is a systematic examination to assess a company's environmental responsibility. So it aims to identify identify environmental complaints and verify environmental responsibility. Okay, responsibility implementation gaps, whether they meet stated objectives along with related corrective actions. So what is the overview of environmental auditing? It means, so the environmental auditing is an independent, right? Independent assessment performed by different organizations to ensure that they are complying with the environmental policies, right? So it examines the amount of risk or injury or actual harm caused and determines the types of pollution produced by assessing the range of locations and procedures and activities. So this auditing procedure is a pragmatic management tool. So that helps an industry or organization verify compliance with environmental norms or requirements. So they evaluate the effectiveness of the environmental management system, assess risks and identify and correct environmental hazards. So it is the examination of accounts of revenues and also costs of environmental and natural resources. So their estimation, depreciation and natural resources and their estimation, depreciation and values. So recorded in the books of accounts, right? So next slide is, you see, environmental audit. So what is environmental audit? Environmental audit is the environmental management tool. For what purpose? So it is measuring the effects of certain activities on the environment against set of criteria standards, right? So the environmental audit try to measure, right? Try to measure the impact of the business activity on environment against some particular criteria that may be regular or rule set by the government. So the environmental audit is a management tool, right? So used for what? It is used for measuring the impact, right? Measuring the impact of industrial activities, right? So now, how much harm a particular activity or business activity causes to the environment, right? So it is determines the types of pollution caused by the activities, right? So this is the C6 in your book C6. So I finished up to 7 or 8 units only. So remaining, I'm telling this, okay? So any doubt, ask after class, okay? So it determines the types of pollution caused by the activities, right? Activities. So now, so in this figure, we have tried to correlate the industrial activity and it is impact on environment. So first you will find there is a industrial activity, right? So industrial activity, impact on environment and assessment of impacts and appropriate activity, right? So now in industrial activity, so that is going on, right? That is going on. So certainly there will be certain releases from the industry and those releases will be having some impact on the environment. So in the environmental auditing in the third step, you will assess the uh, impacts of what? Impact of this environmental activity on the environment. And fourth one is there is a appropriate activity. It means how these releases can be controlled or what else can be done. Okay. Next, origin of environmental auditing. What is the origin? So now come to origin of environmental auditing. So that how this environmental auditing has emerged. So this environmental auditing originated in United States, right? United States in the year of 1970s. 1970s. So basically, due to the pollution caused by the oil and chemical industries. Oil and chemical industries. So in the year of 1979, the USEPA, it means United States Environmental Protection Agency, USEPA, right? USEPA. Okay. So in 1971, the USEPA, the first time issued a draft report and called to independent. So the certified third-party auditors to visit plants and collect samples and perform analysis and submit report to the government authorities. So this is the process in the 1979. Okay. So that is similarly in Europe, right? In Europe, the environmental auditing started due to the reflection of environmental hazards at large scale by chemical and petrochemical industries, right? So the concept of the environmental auditing have been widely accepted by the industries. Since in the 1980s as a common management tool in developed countries. And this is increasingly being applied in developing countries also. Okay, developing countries also. So the environmental auditing was a result of commitment of implementation of Agenda 21. So now what is Agenda 21? So Agenda 21 was one of the document. So that was discussed during in the that is the Earth Summit, right? EARTH, Earth Summit in the year of 1992. Okay, 1992. So it was the one of the document. So it was discussed in the Earth Summit in the year of 1992, right? So now there are several factors which are responsible for the increased awareness about environmental audit. And these factors are basically, first one is industrial calamities and second one is public awareness, right? So now, what is industrial calamities? So industrial calamities means sudden damage or distress or disaster, right? So the industrial calamities, so which have taken place. So the several major industrial accidents, such as Bhopal gas tragedy, example, right? And Chernobyl disaster, and also they have got significant attention. So which created need for environmental auditing under set corporate policies and standards, right? So the environmental audit reduces the risk of accidental environmental damages and protect environmental health and safety, right? And public awareness is the another factor, right? So in the year 1960s, right? 1960s. So you see this is Silent Supreme. So the book name, this is the book named Silent Supreme, was published in the 1960s, right? So in that book, you see the effects, right? The effects of pesticides on the birds were highlighted for the first time, and since then environmental awareness has increased a lot of increased a lot among public. So because of this, there is a pressure on the corporate. So there is a pressure on the different companies or industries to make the kind of impact. So they have to make to public, so that what impact they are having on the environment, and how sensible or how scientifically they are doing to control that pollution. So that is in this book they are writing Silent Supreme. Okay. So now scope of environmental audit. So what is the scope? So you see point wise here. So now first one is the prime aim of environmental audit is to analyze the performance of existing management system. And second one is depending upon the scope, the audits, right? The audits can address one issue or whole range of issues. This is the second scope. And third one is the audit team size and time period, and also depth of the investigation. It depends upon the scope of audit, right? And so suppose if there is a small audit, right? So the audit team will be smaller in size. You see here audit team size. It means so that is the audit team will be smaller in size, right? So if there is a large scale audit in case, so then the audit team will be having the exports from different arena. It means a particular stage of activities, right? And the size will be very big of this team, right? So that is the difference. And fourth one is the environmental auditing is applied not only health and safety management, okay, not only health and safety management in companies operations, but also to product safety and quality management, and to areas such as loss prevention, right? So these are the scope of environmental auditing. Now, so this is also very important. So in your theory examination, they are asking types of environmental audit. Okay. Any audit. Okay. Waste audit, energy audit, any. Okay. So the various types of environmental audits practiced, those are waste audits and energy audit and health and safety audit and compliance audit, management audit and waste minimization audit and liabilities definition audit, and property transfer audits. So these are the 8 audits types of environmental audits, right? So now first we are going to one by one. Okay. Waste audit. So waste audit means waste audits are environmental audits which specifically look at the waste management component of an operation or site. So in such audits, the various aspects of waste management would be reviewed, and the methods and procedures and systems. So checked and verified, right? So in cases where site management are reluctant to undertake full site environmental audits, so it is often easier to motivate for a specialized waste audit, because the result of this will often more readily generate data and action which can save money, right? So a good waste audit, it would be define sources, quantities, and types of waste generated. And second point is collate information on unit operations and raw materials, products, water usage, and wastes. And third point is highlight process inefficiencies and areas of poor management. And next one is cause awareness in the workforce regarding benefits due to waste reduction. And next point is permit the development of cost-effective waste management strategies. And the next one is increase the knowledge of the process. And next one is help set targets for waste reduction. And next one, help to improve process efficiency. And last one is improve operation and maintenance of pollution control equipments. So these are the good waste audit. And this is the waste audit. Okay. And next one is second one, complaints audits. So the most common type of audit is complaints audit, right? So it consists of checks against environmental legislation in company policy. So the complaints audits may be multimedia or programmatic, right? So the multimedia audits involve identifying and auditing all environmental media or parameters. So what are the environmental parameters? Air, water, waste, etc. Right? So that apply to the company. So the programmatic audits are those are which may also be called thematic or media specific, right? So these are limited in scope to specific areas such as air. Okay. So this is the complaints audit. And next one is management audit. So these audits are which are specifically designed, right? Designed to check and evaluate the effectiveness of environmental management system. Okay. So the sound environmental management system or sound environmental management at a site or in an operation depends upon these procedures and work instructions, guidelines, and specification training programs and monitoring systems. So those are being implemented by the employees of the organization operating on the site, right? So if these employees are not given, right, not given the right instructions and training and procedures within the system, they cannot be expected to carry out their work effectively. So the first stage in auditing an operation is to check the presence, absence, and functioning of the environmental management system. means which could be formal or informal, right? So this then creates a baseline against which one can check the environmental functioning of an organization more effectively and objectively. So this is the management audit. And next one is functional environmental audits. So the functional environmental audits are responsible for measuring, right? Measuring the consequences, right? Consequences of specific environmental pollution or hazard caused, right? So this particular auditing is authorized for investigating specific concern areas, such as evaluation of the monitoring of the maintenance of the air quality and waste management, etc. So the functional environmental audits are quite rarely conducted, and those are often included as a part of both environmental compliance auditing and environmental management auditing. Okay. So this is the functional environmental auditing. Okay. So 4 is completed. And now this is also very important question in your examination. Okay, theory exams, they are asking this methodology, right? So what is the methodology for the environmental auditing? What is the methodology should be using, right? So in this slide, we have to try to give about how the environmental audit is performed, right? So in this, the first step, you see here, the first step of environmental auditing is a selection of auditing team. This is the first step. Okay. So first, what is that? Selection. So selection of the audit team. So now what will be the size of audit team? So that will dependent upon the scope of your environmental auditing, right? So and next one is, once audit team is identified, after this selection of auditing to identify, then we will study of unit process in the industry, right? And then we will develop process flow diagrams of different process, right? Different process. And then we will join all unit operations which are taking place in the industry, right? And then we will determine all inputs such as water, chemicals, solids, fuels, etc. Right? Then we will determine all, right? All outputs. So outputs are includes all products which are produced by the industry, and byproducts are all waste products, right? So the waste product, whether liquid, whether gaseous, whether solid, and whether hazardous waste, right? So the all kind of these outputs are calculated and in this step, right? And then next, then we derived the material balance, or we can say then derive the mass balance also, right? Material balance or mass balance. So from here, we will find out the um, efficiency of the industry, so that how much raw material is converted into product and how much raw material is going as a waste, right? So now then next, then based upon this mass balance, we will identify waste reduction methods. Okay, based on upon this material balance or mass balance, right? So, and then we will evaluate after this reduction method, then we will evaluate environmental and economic implications of waste reduction. Okay, waste reduction. And then next, finally, we will go to action plan. Okay. So this is the the total, right? The total plan of environmental auditing for a industry. So you can write this methodology. So step by step. Okay. So I will share the PPT in WhatsApp group. Don't worry. Okay. So this is the methodology for environmental audit. Okay. So now, what are the benefits of an environmental audit? So the importance is, right. The importance of an environmental audit in today's context is significant, right? So protecting the environment requires environmental assessment and audits. So these assessments help to provide scientific data to understand better the risks and that pose a company and how they might be mitigated, right? So the benefits of an environmental audits includes here, you see here, quickly identify issues of non-compliance and minimize their waste and water and energy costs and avoid fines by regulatory agencies and improve their relationships with key stakeholders, right? Key stakeholders. And next one is identify opportunities for improvement in supply chain management and waste management and energy usage and more, right? So these are the benefits of an environmental audits. Okay. So now, what is the importance, right? What is the importance of environmental audit? So, in a broad sense, the environmental auditing aims to help protect the environment. What is that? What is the main aim? That is to help protect the environment and minimize the risks of business activities to the environment and human safety and health. So, whereas in the company's perspectives, it aims to check whether the company has complied with the environmental regulations and requirements, right? And achieved the previously set environmental goals. Okay. So the environmental audits are important for several reasons. You see here, build good company reputation. So it means the environmental audits can strengthen the company, right? Company's image. For example, although it may not be fully compliant, the improvement efforts made will be seen as a positive step by the public, right? Positive step by the public. And if it is complaint, it can lead to positive publicity, encouraging the public not to hesitate to continue buying products from the company, right? So the audits help businesses become more sustainable, right? It also creates new marketing opportunities with other consumers. So for example, companies use formal recognition or accreditation as a tool to that is create preferences for the company's products, right? So next one is comply with environmental regulations. So to adapt and comply with more stringent environmental regulations, those are government. So the government has passes certain regulations that has to be complied by the company or business. So the environment audit enforces companies to comply with these legal requirements. So moreover, the environment audit is mandatory point to comply with as per the EC letter, right? So the government adopts more stringent environmental regulations and standards, right? So usually by international consensus, right? So it forces companies to comply if they do not want to be penalized, right? So then, when done properly, a comprehensive environmental audit can uncover problem areas and provide recommendations for follow-up. So the company can fix it before its reputation is destroyed and regulatory problems arise. And next one is avoid penalties or to avoid negative um, campaigns, right? So that is environment audit help the company to comply with the regulations which will prevent them from implications such as penalties, right? So the increasing external demands for environmental responsibility by pressure groups and environmental activities. So those are forcing companies to check their compliance with environmental requirements. So the increasing concern from the environment has made these demands more and more popular. So if the company is not complain, for example, they can campaign to boycott its products, right? So that is. And last one is risk identification and management measures. So those are environment audit identifies the risk related to environmental responsibility and provide the corrective measures to take action to implement them, right? So now we're going to objectives. What are the objectives, main objectives of the environmental auditing? Okay. So those are include, you see, first one. Where is first one? This one. Okay. So that is to determine the mass balance. It is very, very important. Okay. Mass balance is very, very important. Mass balance is nothing but we take what inputs are incoming to the industries and what we are getting the output in the form of a product, right? Form of products, right? So some of the materials may be going in the form of waste. So that is to determine the mass balance of various materials used and performance of various process. So it means this is also very important because of a number, right? Mass balance is number. So the industry is using old process that is less efficiency process, and a result of that all the raw materials, right? All the raw materials is not converted into product, and a significant amount of the reacted and go as waste, right? And second point, this is the second point. So that is to review the conversion and accordingly fix up norms for equipments and operations, performance and minimization of the waste, right? And third one is to identify the areas of water usage and wastewater generation and determine the characters of wastewater. And fourth one is to determine the air emissions, their sources, quantities, and characteristics. And fifth one is to determine the solid and hazardous waste. So those are generated by the industries and their sources is quantities and characteristics. And last one is, sixth one is the possibilities of waste minimization, recovery, and recycling of waste. So these are the 6 objectives are very important, okay, in environmental auditing, okay. Now, this is also important question in your theory examination. Okay. So you see now, remember, so types of environmental audit is different, and stages of environmental audit is different. Okay, remember this. Okay, so types is over. Now stages. Okay, stages of environmental audit. So the environmental auditing, it consists of mainly how many phases? 3 phases, right? Those are pre-audit activities, and second one is on-site activities, and third one is post-audit activities. So these three are very important. You're asking anyone from these three. From these three, you're asking anyone. Okay. So now we're going to one by one. First one is pre-audit activities. Okay, right. This one. Okay. So pre-audit means a pre-visit data collection, right? So this is in pre-audit stage, we have 4 stages. Okay. So first one is plan scope of audit, and second one is select audit team, and third one is industry analysis, and fourth one, last one is involve the workforce. So first, so now in this pre-audit stage, so that is plan the scope of audit, plan the scope of audit. So that is first we have to do is, right? So the company have to decide the plan, the nature and scope of the audit, and it should provide a framework for setting the goals and objectives of the conducting this particular environmental audit, right? So thus for a framework for an environmental audit program with clearly defined procedures will be developed in this particular step in the plan scope of audit, right? And the next one is second step is select audit team. So in this, that is the members, right? Members of the audit team will be selected. Okay. So they will be selected based on their expertise in the environmental matters and their knowledge in the industry. So that is their knowledge in regarding the particular industry in which that particular company is working, right? So now we are going to conduct an environmental audit in a company. So that company will be working, or that company is a part of an industry, and this audit team members should have good knowledge, right? Good knowledge regarding that particular industry. So based on this, team members will be selected, right? So that is the selection of the audit team members. Then the next step is industry analysis, right? So that is the before the audit or before conducting audits, the members should have a good understanding, right? Good understanding regarding the industry as well as the company which is going to be audited, right? So that the team may submit a question, and that is to the top management. Okay. And they will get information regarding the equipments used in the company, and regarding the location and the geographical area where the company is situated. Also, such details will be connected by the team by giving a questionnaire, by distributing questionnaire to the senior management or senior team. And also they will clearly define the total time allocated for conducting the audit. Okay. So this is the third step. And fourth step, it means involve the workforce. So that is the questionnaire will also be distributed to representative sample of the workforce. So that is a small number of people from the workforce will also get this particular questionnaire asking them about the major issues, that is key issues, right? Key issues. So such questionnaire will be distributed to the two or few numbers, right? Two or few members of people in the workforce. So these are the in this pre-audit 4 steps that come under pre-audit stage. So that is those activities which are performed before audit. Okay. So this is pre-audit. Okay. Then next audit is second audit is on-site audit. Okay. On-site audit. So in this stage, the first step is inspect records, and second one is examine company policies, and third one is examine lines of management, and next one is interview selected staff, and last one is physical inspection, right? So sorry, I forgot number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 is forgot here. This one 5. Okay, right. So in this step as inspection of the record. First one is inspection of the record. Okay. So our records are documents. So kept by the company. So that is the certificates of, what is the document? Documents means company certificates, right? So certificates of complaints or discharge concern, whatever. So anything. So it can be anything like licenses. So all such records or documents will be inspected by the team, right? So next one is examine company policy. Examine company policy. So in this, the examination of environmental policy, the company, right? So the company, all policies will be examined. So the company will have an environmental policy, and this team will first examine the policy of the company from the company. So like, for example, at the event of the first stage, how it should respond, and the event of an accident, that accident occurs, how it should act for such things. The company will be having a policy. So this audit team will examine the policy of the company, right? So next one is examine lines of management. So that is examine lines of management and responsibilities. So there is the facilities of internal management system. It will be understood. All the teams will try to understand the facilities, the internal management system. So now the audit team will try to examine this, right? So the next step is interview selected staff. So it means that is a confidential, right? Confidential interview will be conducted to a few numbers of employees, and few number of staff will be selected from all levels of the operation. So from different levels of the operation, a few staff will be selected, and confidential interview will be conducted with these staff. So the collect information particularly regarding the effectiveness of the systems like waste management system, etc. Right? So the regarding such things, a very confidential um, interview will be conducted with the staff from different areas of operation levels of management. Right? And next one is physical inspection. Last one, right? So that is the physical inspection of the plant, the working parties of the company. So the office management of the company. So all these things will be physically inspected by the audit team. Okay, audit team. So these are the steps on on-site auditing. Okay. The next audit is post-audit stage, right? Post-audit stage. So this is the final stage, right? So now you see here also 3 steps there. So the first one is evaluate findings, and second one is report findings, and third one is industry prepare action plan, right? So the evaluate findings in first one, the audit team. So the audit team are very need, they discuss about the findings, right? So they have got some findings from the audit stage, and they need, and this is regarding these findings, right? And they will check whether they have proper evidence supporting their findings, and they make sure that their findings are justifiable. So this is the first step of post audit stage, right? And then next step is the report findings. Okay. So in this step, the audit findings will be in written, right? In written. So that is, it will be in a written format, will be made into a written format, and audit, that is to give audit team will have a discussion with the management of the company, and they will make sure that there is no interpretation, there is nothing. So that is wrongly interpreted and wrongly written in the report also automatically, right? So they will discuss everything. So all their findings and all their suggestions with the management of that particular company will be given information regarding their complaints status, that is finalized the recommendations, right? Recommendations of the audit committee for improving the environmental performance of the company, right? So last one is prepare action plan. Okay, prepare action plan. So in this step, the action plan, right? Action plan will be formulated in order to address the issues pointed out in the environmental audit report, right? And in this step, assignment of responsibilities for corrective measures will also be done. And also they will determine the proper solutions and will establish schedules for implementing these solutions, right? So they have to timetable for implementing the solutions. So moreover, also in this step, they will recommend for a further audits, that is they decide on the next environmental audit that can also be done in this particular step. Okay, you see here. So this is the step by step I prepared here in this slide. Okay. So in pre-audit, plan scope of audit. So these are the 4 steps here. And second is select audit team and industry analysis and involve the workforce. So again, it will going to next stage, auditing, right? Audit stage. So that is inspect records and examine company policy, examine lines management and interview selection staff and physical inspection. So again, it going to another stage. Okay, like this. So in this, evaluate findings and report findings, and last one is prepare action plan. Okay, action plan. So these are the total 12 steps are there. Okay, so this is the stages of audit. Okay, different stages of environmental audit. So now, documents needed for an audit. So what are the documents needs for audit, environmental audit? So conducting an audit can be especially with all the documents required to create a comprehensive report, right? The companies generally need maps and floor plans of their facility to figure out where to perform the audit and how to do it, right? So additionally, the companies may need to submit these following documents. Those are environmental complaint certificates and environmental permits and all raw materials used in company procedures and environmental plans and employees training records, right? So coming up with all these total documents are challenging enough. And considering that gathering the documents are only the start of the audit. So modern companies need to incorporate different tools to make it much easier to conduct this audit. So nowadays, one of the tool that is the safety culture that is formerly I auditor. It means I auditor, right? Auditor. Okay. Auditor. I auditor. So this is the one of the tool. So this is all in one auditing tool is made for modern companies and comes with features that can simplify gathering documents and conducting audits for the team. Okay. So this is the environmental audit. So wait, I will upload another PPT. Okay. Just wait. So any doubts in this environmental audit? So in this, in your examination, they are asking 2 questions from this environmental audit. Okay. So just wait. I will upload another PPT. So this is also important question. They are asking ISO 14001. Okay. Only 6 members is there, right? What happens? Others? Okay, right. So, right. So, this is the one of the theory question in your examination, important question. Okay. So the ISO 14001 or ISO 1400. Okay. So that is a standard, right? That is a standard for EMS that is applicable applicable to any business regardless of size and location or income, right? So the aim of the standard is to reduce the environmental footprint of business and to decrease the pollution and waste a business produces. So this ISO 14001 is an environmental management system standards which provide the framework requirement to manage the environmental aspects and maintaining the compliance obligations. So the entire objective behind environmental management system, that is to prevent or reduce the pollution and efficiently use of natural resources and improve the waste management so that it will not become the potential risk to environment and maintain the ecological balance within the ecosystem, etc. etc. Right? So the as per environmental management experts, now it is a social responsibility of every member to society to save our environment from pollutions, misuse of natural resources and waste management also. So the government across the national and international levels, so those are very much focused on this environmental management in view to protect the our environment for our survival and for our future generation, right? So the environmental management system ISO 14001 is an ISO standard, right? ISO standard which provide the framework requirement to protect the environment from adverse effects. So ISO 14001 provides the systematic approach to organization for protecting the environments from adverse environmental effects by managing the significant environmental impacts and fulfill the applicable compliance obligations and improving the overall environmental performance of the organization by proper management of environmental aspects and risk analysis, right? And also controlling the products and services of the organization and considering the life cycle perspective of the products and services. And when those are in use or after the life of the products, and it should be handled or disposed in such a way that it cannot harm to our environment, right? So now you see here the ISO standard, ISO 14001 is an international standards organization which is based on Geneva, Switzerland, right? So the ISO 14001 is an internationally agreed standard. So that sets out the requirement, right? For what? An environmental management system. Okay. So it helps any organizations improve their environmental performance through more efficient use of resources and reduction of wastage and gaining a competitive advantage and the trust of stakeholders, right? So you see here, the short form of ISO is not an acronym. So, but instead of is derived from the Greek word ISOS. It means equal, right? Equal. So ISO was founded in 1947. Okay, 1947, and it works in 162 countries. It promotes the international harmonization and development of manufacturing products and communication standards. So the ISO has laid down more than 8,000 standards ranging from paper sizes to film speeds. So more than 120 countries are full ISO voting members, while several other countries serve as observer members, right? So now India is a founder and full voting member of ISO, and it is officially represented by the Bureau of Indian Standards. It's called BIS, right? So the ISO produces internationally harmonized standards through various technical committees, right? So, right. So now, when was this ISO 14001 first introduced? So, right. So it was first introduced in 19 1996. Okay, 1996. It has been adopted by well over 2 lakhs, right? 2 lakhs 50,000. How much? 2 lakh 50,000 certified users in how many countries? 155 countries. This is worldwide, right? So the most recent version has been updated and published in 2015. So this data in 1996 and 2015. So as ISO 14001 2015, and it was only released in September 2015. The new standard takes the basis of the 2004 standard and brings it in line with the risk and process approach the management system, right? So now you see here the integrated management system. It means IMS, right? So IMS integrates all of an organization system and process into one complete framework. So that enabling an organization to work as a single unit with unified objectives. You see here. So QMS, that is Quality Management System. So standard certification name is ISO 9001, right? So and IATF 16949 and ISO 13485 and AS 9100. This is the QMS. And next organization system is EMS, Environmental Management System. So we are using this one, right? ISO 14001. Okay, in India, right? And next one is SMS, means not messages. So safety management system. So that is they are using certificate name is ISO 45001. So it replaced now OSHA's 18001. Okay. And next one is ENMS, means Energy Management System. Okay. So certificate name is ISO 50001. Okay. And FSMS means Food Safety Management System. They are using certificate name is FSSC 22000. Okay. And ISMS means Information Security Management System. They are using the name, certificate of name is ISO 27000. Right? You see here, IMS main is IMS means Integrated Management System. Okay. Integrated Management System is called Quality Management System and Environmental Management System plus Safety Management System plus Energy Management System plus Food Safety Management System plus Information Security Management System. Okay. So this is the management system standards, right? Now, so what are the benefits of this ISO 14001 certificate? So those are now you see here, these are the benefits. First one is legal compliance, and next one is increased reputation within the consumers, and next one is competitive advantage and reduce waste and reduce cost, and last one is reduce insurance cost. So now what first one is legal complaints means it getting ISO 14001 certified ensures you are keeping up to date with legal regulations. The fines and bad press can devastate companies that do not comply with the with regulations. So this ensures that you keep ahead of the game. Okay. And next one is increased reputation with consumers. So more and more consumers are going green, right? So with half of digital consumer saying environmental concern and impact their purchasing decisions. And getting this ISO 14001 certified, it display to your customer that you have an active commitment to reducing your environmental impact, right? And next one is competitive advantage. It means that this ISO 14001 certification can help set you apart from competitors. Okay? Competitors. Or help you keep up if they are already certified. Right? So this also hold true if your organization is bidding for tender. Right? So with more and more businesses getting this ISO 14001 certified, um, it's important that your organization does not fall behind, right? So this ISO 14001 certificates, a total how much? 11.11 to 11,002 201 certificates were issued in 2018. 18 in the UK only. Okay. So in UK, 11,201 certificate they are issued in 2018 in UK, United States. Sorry, United Kingdom. Okay. And next one is reduce waste. Means the standard aims to reduce the amount of waste that organization are producing. So from the unnecessary running of machinery, that is to a lack of training causing excess materials to be left. So the standard aim to identify and mitigate all the waste. So by using more renewable energy sources and energy saving process, your company becomes more efficient as a result. And next one is reduce cost. So how to reduce cost? So naturally, an increase in efficiency will lead to reduced cost of running your different business, right? So the cost of waste management should go down. So just as the need for the processing and removal of waste will be lessened, right? And next one is reduced insurance cost. So some companies might find that getting certified in ISO 14001 will reduce insurance premiums, right? Insurance premiums. So the certification proves your organization that is performing strong due to diligence in managing their environmental impact, which means there is less chance of you being found liable of environmental negligence, right? So these are the benefits of the ISO 14001. Now you see here, so now how many companies are got ISO 14001 means from up to in a 2022 survey, this ISO 14001 and ISO 9001 certificates. So these certification around the world. So you see here. So which you see here which countries have the most ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 certificates. So this is the 2022, this 22 survey. So based on the latest ISO survey, right? So which estimate the number of valid certificates as 12, right? 12, 31, 22, December 31st, right? Right? So these top 10 countries get for ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 certificates. So this is worldwide, right? Worldwide. So the international organization standards ISO, right? It complied the number of valid certificates for 16, right? How much? 16 ISO management system standards. So those are ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 and ISO 27001 and ISO 45001. So like this, etc., etc. We have 16 certificates is there, right? So those are submitted by certification bodies, accredited by members of the International Accreditation Forum. It's called IAF, International Accreditation Forum. So now the additional data was provided from this IAF International Accreditation Forum certificate search database, which further improved the accuracy of the results, right? So the ISO 2022. Okay, right. So now you see here the top 10 countries in first one is China. So they are getting these number of certificates in 2022 data, right? And Italy, second place, and third one is India. Third place is India. So as per 2022 survey, right? And Germany is fourth one, and UK is fifth, and Japan is sixth, and Spain is seventh, and USA is eighth, and Korean is 9, and France is last one is 10th place. So these are the top 10 countries and getting certificates, and ISO 9001 and ISO 14001, right? So the ISO survey, you see here, these are the places, top 10 places. So where is India? This one, right? This is the third place, right? So the ISO survey 22 results provide 3 set of data, including the numbers of, so those are, first one is valid certification, right? So valid certificates for each country for 16 ISO management system standards. And next one is sites covered by the certificates for each country for 12 of the ISO standards. And next one is sectors per country covered by the certificates for 13 of the ISO standards. So these are the 3 sets of data the ISO survey 2022 results provided. So according to the survey, there were 1,26,05,216. So those are ISO 9001 certificates, and ISO 14001 certificates are 5,29,853. So I did not mention here. Okay. So you see here different in 2018 and 2019 and 2020 and 21 and 22. So this is the latest report. Okay, ISO survey. But China is the topmost country getting certificates. Right? So you see here, it shows the increase in the number of certificates worldwide from the period 18 to 22, 2022. So for ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 and ISO 45001. So these are the ISO standard certificates. So the rate of increase for ISO 9001, that is 44, right? 44%, and ISO 14001 is 72%, right? So it has been greater compared to previous years. So mainly due to a significant increase in China, right? As a new standard ISO 45001 2018 certificates have increased how much 3,224% over the 5 years period, right? So that is to learn more about this occupational health and safety standard. So all the main standards covered by the ISO survey experienced growth of the number of certificates, right? So now you see here, so who needs this ISO 14001 certificate? So who needs? So you see here, any business, right? Any business of any size in any sector, right? It can implement the ISO 14001 framework and apply for certification of their environmental management plan, right? So this makes it one of the most popular standards in the world, right? So now, so this is also very important. So what is the validity period? Validity period of this ISO 14001 certification. So when you have passed the formal assessment, you will receive an ISO 14001 certificate, which is valid for 3 years. Okay? 3 years only. Okay? So what is the cost of for ISO 14001? Anybody? So, okay, right. So it means the cost for getting ISO certification is not fixed, right? So it depends on companies, right? So as a result, it varies from organization to organization. So the ISO certification agency calculates the cost of ISO certification separately for each organization after considering them on different parameters, right? So it depending upon the size of the organization, cost may vary. So the total cost includes consultancy fee and annual audit and certificate fee, right? So now, how long does it take to acquire ISO 14001 certificate? So it means depending upon the size of organization, right? So the larger the organization, more time to get certified and vice versa. So approximately it takes how much time? 45, right? 45 days to 3 months. Okay, 45 days to 3 months. So it will take time 45 days, right? So now you see here, or what is the requirement to obtain as ISO 14001 certificate? And now, so first, what is the environment aspects? So as per the ISO 14001 2015, the environmental aspect, right? The environmental aspect is defined as element of an organization's activities or products or services, so that interact or it can interact with the environment. So the environment aspect is the way your activity and service or product impacts the environment. So the an environmental aspect can cause environmental impacts. So a significant environmental aspect is one that has or can have one or more significant environmental impacts. So what is environmental impact? So environmental impact is change to the environment, whether adverse or beneficial, wholly or partially resulting from an organization's environmental aspects, right? So you see here the steps for complaints with ISO 14001 requirements, right? So this first one is environmental policy. So you see here, this is the environmental policy. The first requirement of EMS ISO system is to sorry, the environmental establishment and environmental policy. Okay. The management is committed to regulatory complaints and pollution prevention and continuous improvement and implementation of ISO 14001 requires an organization to specify its policy and identify the environmental aspects and impacts and set of objectives and implement the plan and check and take corrective measures as per set procedures, right? So these are the environmental policies, right? Next one is a policy statement is there and policy requirements is there. And committee to continual improvement and also documentation. And second thing is planning. So in planning, we have these steps, okay? So I will upload this PPT, okay? Don't worry. So ISO 14001, we are asking important question. Okay, you can explain. So now you see here, this is the ISO in India, right? So same process for ISO certification in India. First one, you create an application and next one is quality document review and make an action plan and also determination of a pre-assessment needs and addressing non-conformities. And next one is final auditing and last one is surveillance audits, right? So in India, what are the documents required in India ISO registration process? So those are company profile and company letterhead and copy of sales and purchase bill and company address proof and PAN card of company and company visiting cards. So these are the required documents, right? So cost means a cost for getting ISO certification is not fixed, right? As a result, it varies from organization to organization. Okay. So this is the ISO 14001 certificate. Okay. So next class is Vasanthi madam will take the class. Okay. Any doubts? So time is up.